All right, I have some breaking news for you. We're going to be implementing some breaking sounds when we smash our pots. So let's do this. Now for breaking sounds, we need some assets. So go ahead and go to the GitHub repo for this course and go to the downloads folder in sounds, and there's going to be a potbreaks.zip. Go ahead and download that. So click on that potbreaks.zip, click on download, and you'll have a .zip that you'll have in your downloads folder. So go ahead and find that and extract all. Make sure to extract that folder. And now you'll have these pot break sounds. And there are a few in here. So make sure to get these, and we're going to import these into our project. So back in my project, I'm going to go into my content folder and into audio. And here we have these sounds, and it's probably getting to the point where we want to start organizing these into categories. So I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this Hit Sounds, and we'll get Hit Flesh along with the sound attenuation and highlight those. I'm going to move those into Hit Sounds, click Move here, and I'll make a new folder, call this Weapon, and we'll put the Whoosh, Shink, and Whoosh sound wave into Weapon and move here. Now the hit sounds, we have Hit Flesh, and we're also going to have some smashing sounds. I think those can go in here. So I'm going to click Import and find those pot breaks, select them all, and just import them on in. Now we want a sound effect for this, so I'm going to make a meta sound. So I'll go back out to audio, go into meta sounds, and we'll make a new meta sound here. So I'll right click, go to sounds, create meta sound source, and I'm going to call this SFX pot break. So let's open pot break, and this should be review for you. So if you'd like, go ahead and implement this. You can pause the video and then see if you did it right, just for the practice. So I'm going to take my inputs here, add a new input. I'm going to rename this input to pot break. I'm going to change the type by searching for wave. I'm going to choose wave asset and check the checkbox for is array. And we want some array elements here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my hit sounds folder. Now we want some pot break sounds. Now I have a couple of large pot breaking sounds and some sounds for smaller pots if you want to implement that later on, but I'm going to use these two. Large Smash 1, which sounds pretty epic, and Large Smash 2. So these sound like breaking something really, really big. So I'm going to highlight those two, see if I can get away with just dragging them in here without creating a new window. And there we go. Okay, so we have these two sounds, right? Now we can take our pot break, bring it in here, and we can shuffle these. So I'm going to get a shuffle, hook up OnPlay to the next node, and I'll go ahead and enable shared state for this. And straight out from OnNext, I'm going to get a wave player. And for the wave player, for the wave asset, I'll hook that value straight in. And for the output on finished, I'll hook that into on finished here. And I'd like to have some variation in the pitch and the volume. So I'll take my on play and get a random float node. And I'll hook that value into the pitch shift. And I'm going to have a min of 0 and a max of, say, 3. And I'll take my output here, my out left, and I'll multiply that by creating another random float. And we'll take that out left, we'll multiply audio by float right there and hook that in. And now I can press play and I can hear what it sounds like. So for the min, I'm going to set that to about 0.6 so we don't go too low there. And that's sounding pretty good. Now I'd like a sound attenuation for this, so I'm going to hit save and go to the source gear icon. And for the attenuation, I can use the same attenuation as Hit Flesh, as those parameters are all appropriate, I think, for this. You could go and make a new sound attenuation and change it if you like, but I'm okay with using the HitFlesh sound attenuation. And now that we have this pot break, we can implement this here in our BP breakable. So we know that we're having our C++ functionality called as soon as we reach this node, and in the meantime, before that, we can play a sound. So I'm going to drag off of event getHit and call play sound at location. And for the location, we can use that impact point. And the sound, we can search for SFX pot break. So we'll choose that, and now we can see if we get a pot breaking sound. So let's break some pots. And there we go. That sounds amazing. Now we have a lot more realism when we break our pots. Perfect. Now, before we wrap this up, I'm noticing that we have a lot of these pieces. They're all simulating physics. That's going to get very, very expensive very quickly. And generally, when we break a pot, in video games, we tend to make those disappear after a while. So one of the things that we can do is we can set the lifespan as soon as our pot breaks. If we set the lifespan for an actor, then we're essentially giving it a countdown timer, and at the end of that timer, the actor will destroy itself. So we can call set lifespan. And if we give this a lifespan of, say, 3 seconds, then that means as soon as event getHit is fired off, then our lifespan will now be 3 seconds, and after that 3 seconds is up, that actor will be destroyed. And there it goes. Now here's the thing though, we broke this actor, and we called the interface function on it because getHit accessed that actor and executed that interface function because we had access to that actor from the box trace, but we didn't actually have access to this actor here, so it's going to stick around unless, of course, we hit it, and then after 3 seconds, those pieces will go away. But we also had some collateral damage that other pot broke as well. So we do want our breakable actor to have its lifespan set, even if it breaks, regardless of whether its event getHit was executed or not. So how are we going to set the lifespan when our pot breaks? Well, if we take a look at our geometry collection, notice we have this gameplay event dispatcher here. And in our geometry collection, if we scroll down, we have a bunch of events here. And check this out. We have onChaos break event. If we click the plus there, this is an event that gets fired off whenever our geometry collection breaks. So if we take that set lifespan and we move it down there, we'll go ahead and connect that pin back up. As soon as our geometry collection breaks, now we're calling set lifespan here. Now if our geometry collection breaks, we have this event. But we do need to make sure our geometry collection is set to fire events. We can come to the details panel, and under general here for our geometry collection, there's a checkbox that says notify breaks. Let's go ahead and check that checkbox and just see what happens when we break things. And there we go. Both have broken. And that's because we have this chaos break event firing off, setting our lifespan to 3 seconds. So it really doesn't matter how the pot breaks. If I get on this side of the pot, there's no way I'm going to touch that pot on the other side of it. But if I break this one and that other one breaks, after 3 seconds, they go away. So that way we're sure to get that lifespan set no matter how the pots break. Perfect. All right, so now we have our pots breaking and making sounds. We're implementing the sounds here in Blueprint, so that's more a designer-centric type thing to implement. So we now know that with Blueprint implementable events, we can get that functionality here in Blueprint. And once we execute that from the C++ side, this will get called, but we can also call the native C++ version of that. And that can do more core gameplay stuff that we want to keep on the C++ side. Excellent job. I'll see you in the next video.